Hey you guys, it's Jamie here for This is Life Thursday. I want to talk to you about our homeschooling journey. I wanted to do this in August during school season, our back to school season, and didn't get it squeezed into the schedule. I wanted to do something with the disaster preparedness today, but I am not quite ready for that. I've been just getting lots of good resources and not quite in a good spot to do our printable yet for the binders, so I thought that it would be a good day to swoop in and cover the homeschooling bit with you guys. So if you are totally not on a homeschool track, that is fine. I'm just going to share sort of our story and let you guys know what we are doing, and maybe you'll find it interesting to hear. And then there are some of you who have definitely expressed interest in hearing more, and so that's the main reason that I want to do this. And I want to let you know about another little group that I have started so that I can encourage people and help people in the department of homeschooling if they're looking for that without bogging down the feed here at our Milk Allergy Mom group. So let's see, to start off, we have homeschooled from the very beginning. So we did preschool at home to kind of as a test run to see how that would look, because it was not on our radar to homeschool. I will tell you, we did not plan to homeschool at all. I did want to stay home with the boys until they got to kindergarten, but I was actually a teacher. I was an education major, so I got my degree in high school history, and it was pre-law, and I was going to do one of those two things, teach or go to law school. And so I totally planned to put our kids in school and go teach and have a good flexible schedule where I was home during the summers with them and getting off of school when they were getting off school. It was a great little plan that we had until food allergies came along. And when Miles had his reaction at 8 months, I had a couple of friends who I was actually did Stampin' Up. I was like a home demonstrator for rubber stamps and card making and scrapbooking. Oh good, I see somebody on, because my phone is totally on the blink. We might have to get me a new one, which is unfortunate. So I was hoping that this would work. I'm having a good little spell here with my phone in this hour. So whoever's on, I'm glad to see you. And I don't know if I'll be able to see comments because my phone has been so weird. It's been texting people and calling people, and it's been like possessed. So I'm hoping that I can get through this video, but seeing somebody on is good. I'm sure that many of you will catch this on the replay. I couldn't do this later tonight because we have something to do, so I'm squeezing it in. But talking about homeschool, how it was not on our radar, not in our plans. I had a couple of homeschool moms in my classes that I was teaching for card making and stuff like that, and they said you should really think about homeschooling your kiddo if he has this food allergy and it's that bad. And I kind of laughed at them. I was like, yeah, that's a great suggestion, but not happening. And but they did just kind of plant that little seed in the back of my mind, and as time went on and we weren't outgrowing allergies and they were getting what appeared to be worse, that kind of became like our plan B. So Jeff and I went to high school together. We grew up out in the suburb here, and not here because we aren't in it, but our plan was to get back to where we went to school, a small little country school outside on the outskirts of town, and put our kids in school and us both to work and be able to afford the property tax out there and all that good stuff. But allergies totally changed what we were doing. We ended up staying in the city. We have awesome low property tax here in the middle of the city, and so we just practiced the homeschool thing in preschool to see what that looked like. I'm such a busy bee, as a lot of you probably figured out. I like to work. Jeff actually would probably be a better stay-at-home dad than I am a stay-at-home mom, because I always want to be working and doing something productive, and so staying home with the kids was really a big adjustment for me. But we practiced in preschool. Things went well. I actually, at Milk Allergy Mom, I used to post our preschool posts. So my blog has transformed many times over, but I used to have a bunch of posts up about doing preschool at home. Each week I would post like a recap of what we did, and it was a lot of Montessori, so it was like hands-on, real life kind of things. You know, we focused on the alphabet, we focused on numbers, all that good stuff. With boys, they're so active, and just sitting down doing worksheets was not, I learned really quickly. I loved school and I was super studious, and my kids are boys and very active, and so I learned quickly to adjust to the way they learned. And so we've been homeschooling ever since. When they got to about, Miles was like second grade and Graham was starting kindergarten, is when, and I'm such a homebody too, so I wasn't signing up for all the activities. People talk about worrying about social aspect. I would say in my area, and probably in most areas, that is not an issue. There was so many things that could have pulled us away from doing school, because so many activities and field trips and groups, and I just said no to everything so that we could just do school and get it done and move on with our day. But we ended up joining a group. It's called Classical Conversations. It's Christian and it's classical, and it meets once a week, and it's a national program. Hi Luis, good to see you. And so we signed up for that, and we have not looked back. We have been in this program. This is our 5th year, and you guys, I'm just telling you our story. I'm not going to try to sell you on homeschooling. I'm not going to try to sell you on the program that we're doing. In fact, I started a video earlier and stopped it, so now I can't remember what I've already said, but I want to tell you guys that I know that some of you are wondering about, you have littles and you're wondering what it might look like to homeschool and things like that, and I don't want to bog down Milk Allergy Mom or this private group with talking about homeschool a lot. There are just a lot of things that I'm passionate about, and I have learned to really segregate those into the different communities that want to hear about those things. So I'm just giving you an overview today. Is probably the last you'll hear about us and our homeschooling here in the group, but then I'm going to let you know about a new little private group that I've started that I'm just going to be sharing about our homeschool and what that looks like. So any of you guys that want that information, I heard from a lot of you that you were interested in seeing what that looked like, and I definitely want to encourage those of you who are looking for encouragement or information to be able to do that extra step with you guys and show you a peek into our homeschooling. So I'll get to that in a second, but again, this is just like a one-time, what's our story and what's it look like. So we joined the national program, and we have loved it. We're in our 5th year, and the boys are, it got to the point where I wasn't, their attention would like cover math and reading, and then Miles was getting to the age where we needed to add like the science and the history and geography and things like that, and I just couldn't get that extra stuff done because they were spent and done. And so so we joined this group that covered those things, art projects, science projects, and there's a couple moms here in our Facebook group that are in the same program. There's some moms in our group that are homeschooling but not in the program, and then of course you guys know a lot of you are doing public school, private school, and I am cheering on all mamas, food allergy moms, doing the best that they can for their families. So I missed a comment here. I love hearing about the different preschooling options. So Sandy, I did, and I hope I didn't like turn the brightness weird. We did Montessori, and I started a video already, so I forget what I've already said, but it was a lot of hands-on. We have a former Montessori teacher, maybe she'll comment and say hi in our group here, but it was a lot of, I didn't do a certain program, I just did a lot of Googling and just kind of found what I thought was a good fit for us. And you know, what they say is in homeschooling that usually it's as much time as what their grade is. So literally preschool is like an hour a day. Kindergarten is like an hour a day. First grade is like an hour a day. Second grade, 2 hours a day. And you go up from there. So the boys and I just started homeschool today. And yeah, we put in a good 4 or 5 hours. Miles is 6th grade, so we're gonna work up to, he's gonna start writing papers and things, so he will be taking the 6 hours, but today was our first day and it kind of encouraged me to get on here and chat. Stacy says, my oldest is only 1.5 years, but we're pretty certain we want to homeschool, so we went ahead and joined the group. Awesome, Stacy, I'm so glad. I'll talk about the group more in a second. So we joined this national program. It was wonderful for us. I ended up directing it. We were like just a new family for 1 year, and by the second year I was the director, so it was a little weird, but it totally worked. And I was the director for 3 years. We grew to went from one small campus to 3 campuses. I learned a lot about building a community, and it was just really, really good for me and for my family. But then it was kind of like a new season for us this year. So we are back to just being a family and a mom in the program. And so I'm spending a lot of my work time here with you guys at Milk Allergy Mom. So I'm super excited about the new season for my family. We're very excited to just show up and learn and just do our schooling. So, but what I would say is one really cool bit of encouragement that I got while I was in the group, and being the director, it was my job to encourage moms and say, you can totally homeschool. If this is on your radar, if you're thinking about it, you can do it. But again, Milk Allergy Mom isn't the place for me to be doing that. I definitely am very passionate about homeschooling, but I want Milk Allergy Mom to be about food allergies, and I want to encourage and support moms in the food allergy life, and I don't want our schooling decisions to be a barrier at all. But what I would say that was a really cool thing that I learned for you guys looking for inspiration or looking for encouragement. One of the coolest things I heard in leadership in our program was that if you went through 12 years in the public school system, you should be able to teach that information back to your kids. And I thought, you know what, that is so true. Hello, we learned it all. Why wouldn't we be able to teach it to our kids? So if one barrier is, well, I don't know the information, well, you learned it. And so you should be able to teach it back to your kids. So I thought that was really, really encouraging. You've been there, you know it, you can do it. And so that was really encouraging. And then the kind of negative thing that kind of sometimes went with it was, if you can't teach it back, then what does that say? You want to teach your kids in a way that they will be able to teach it back to somebody else. So I thought that was a really cool point. So as far as the information, if that's one of your hang-ups, just know that you learned it and you can teach it to your kids too. The second point of encouragement is, I know that for us, our kids were little and we were like, are they going to be athletic? Are they going to be musical? If we choose this homeschool route to be safe from food allergies, what are we holding our kids back from that they aren't going to be able to do? But again, we are Christians, and we just prayed a lot about it, and we felt like just do this homeschool thing. We tried to do other things. I tried to be a teacher at a private school and enroll the kids, and it all fell apart in August of Miles's kindergarten start year. So it was so evident that what we were supposed to do was this homeschool thing. And so we were just faithful and did what we thought we were supposed to do. And there were a lot of questions about how the heck are we going to accomplish X, Y, and Z if we're homeschooling. But we just said, okay, we're taking it year by year, and God will provide for whatever we need. So the really cool stories, hindsight, is Miles ended up being an awesome soccer player, and he can play soccer on club. And so the kids that are really good soccer players choose not to play for their school, and they want to play for the club. So we're super, super glad that we are just Miles just made the team last year. He just made the A team this year. And so we are so, so excited to see how that's panning out for us. It was something we just, we've talked about with food allergies, you sometimes just can't plan the future, especially with food allergies. And so we kind of just took that stance with homeschool. We can't plan what high school is going to look like or what tomorrow is going to look like, but we're just going to do what we can, the best for us today, and hope that it turns out. And I'm here to say 9 years into homeschooling that everything has turned out as good as we could have imagined and better. And so the other fun story is that Graham is he's gifted in gymnastics, which I never ever would have ever thought, like I can literally not even do like a cartwheel. So this is like this is some random skill and gifting that he has. But my sister, before she passed away, we were talking about experience gifts. His birthday was coming and I was like, you know what, Kendra, he does not need any more toys. How about we sign him up for some activity? And he was asking about doing gymnastics, and we were kind of seeing that he was doing cartwheels and stuff. So she signed him up for gymnastics, and sadly she passed away like the next month. So we hardly got to tell her how awesome he was becoming at it, and like a total natural. She was a cheerleader, and she was the one person in our family. He must have gotten it from her, and it's really special to us that it's become his niche. But yeah, so we don't need a school for gymnastics. We just tried this this gymnastics place, and he took off and excelled through the different levels, and now he's at the top level. And thank you, Lindsay. I like to think that she does know that. It's totally, yeah, we have the little card that she sent him when he was 8, and she said, I'm signing you up for 8 lessons of gymnastics for your 8th birthday. And that's like our last card and our last writing from her, and it's super, super special. But she would be so proud of how awesome he is at gymnastics. So, but yeah, I mean, that is another thing that we couldn't have planned. We couldn't have said, oh, we're going to homeschool and have our kids be soccer players and gymnasts so that we don't need a high school. But it's all worked out. And so I just want to encourage you guys in that you really can't plan ahead. But if you're faithful in what you think you are being called to do, whatever that is, but if it's homeschool, just know that a lot of things happen and work out that are really, really amazing. Another thing that I wanted to encourage you guys, another fun story is band. And so Jeff and I went to college in music. Like, we both had music scholarships. He's a band and vocal, and I was vocal, and it paid for our college. And we're looking at our kids, they're getting up to the age where we had started in music, and Jeff's like, Jamie, we need to figure out how to get them in music. They're totally showing interest and totally showing some natural abilities, and we don't have any programs here in our town for homeschoolers and music. And so it just took a little bit of doing what I do and asking around, and we found out that homeschool kids are welcomed into the Catholic grade school band. And we went to a meeting the other night, and my kids are going to be playing the trumpet and the trombone in the Catholic school band. So we're getting ready to start private lessons, and they're going to get to meet one night a week with all the grade school kids. And there's like several Catholic schools here in town, and they all come together one night a week. So they don't even know each other. And then the homeschoolers are just another little pocket of all the kids that come together. So it's going to be perfect. It's not like the whole school knows each other and then my kids just show up. So we are just so excited about all the opportunities that are coming along. And the more we just keep doing this, the more we keep seeing that things will work out, and that we couldn't have planned it ahead of time, but we're in a really good place with doing homeschool. So I know that a lot of people say, so you can homeschool because you have a teaching degree, and you know, that's why you're able to homeschool, but I could never do it. Well, let me encourage you in that. I was a high school history teacher. With the thought of teaching preschoolers and grade schoolers was not my cup of tea or my forte. So all through these elementary years, it hasn't been natural for me. I really have had to figure out what that looks like. But, you know, we have come through, and we joined this group that really helped me figure out what grade school years look like. And then all that to say, I was a high school certified teacher, but as we approach, like, I've been worried about what high school would look like. When we first homeschooled me, it was like, okay, grade school maybe, but there's no way junior high and high school. Like, I hate science experiments, and I don't know anything about art, and like literally I can write papers and do research, but that's like my thing. That's the only thing I can do. I can't teach high school, but we found the program that helps us get through all of that stuff. And so, you know, but we didn't know that when we started. So we were taking a total leap of faith that somehow my kids were going to be able to get science and art and foreign language. I don't know any foreign languages, and they're learning Latin, which is really awesome. So I just want to encourage you guys that you know, as a food allergy family, that you cannot plan the future. So if this is, and so, I mean, the same thing with jumping in with homeschool. You don't know exactly how all the pieces are going to fit together, but if you choose to stick with it, there's so many resources, and the movement is just growing more and more and more, and there's just more and more opportunities, even more than when we started 9 years ago. So that's really, really exciting. And again, this is not about you should homeschool, your kids have food allergies, you should totally homeschool. I am not saying that at all. I just want to encourage the mamas who maybe have those babies or the toddlers. It's on their, in the back of their mind. And I just want to explain kind of how it panned out for us, just to encourage you guys in that way. And for those of you doing public school or whatever, to just hear our story so you know what we're talking about when I talk about homeschool and what that looks like, that it wasn't like Jamie and Jeff got married and said, we're going to homeschool and this is the plan for us. Like, it really was just like a food allergy 180 turn, and has worked out for us. So, like I said, we said, okay, grade school, we'll work through that and food allergies, but junior high school, we're going to figure something out. Well, the program that we're doing goes all the way through high school, and the things that they're learning as they go up sets them up the foundation for their junior high and high school years. And so we are just loving that, to know that actually now our plan A is to homeschool through high school in this group. And if he outgrows his food allergies or we desensitize or whatever, we will figure out what to do. But I mean, we are loving the track that we're on, and really building a really strong foundation for them to do really well through the end. And then the statistics and everything with school, with college and stuff, is just wonderful. I have so many friends that are in that stage now, and things are looking really, really good with this program. So super excited about that. Of course, you don't have to be religious or Christian or anything like that to homeschool. There's lots of programs that are out there for all sorts of belief systems and different kinds of people. We do classical, but classical doesn't necessarily mean Christian. You can be in a classical program that is not religious at all, and so that is an option as well. Anna Marie says, thank you. My big kids are in private school, but my food allergy toddler may be homeschooled. Yes, Anna, that is why I wanted to talk today and let you guys know what our story was, and to let you know about this little group that I started. So my first bit of advice, inspiration was just, what was it? I already forgot. Oh, how if you've gone through 12 years in public school, you should be able to teach that to your children. Like, you have the information, and if you've forgotten a little bit, it's really easy to pick up second grade science. So you have gone through you've gone through the school system, you have the information, or quick access to the information. Number two was, even though you're not trained teacher, like people think because I have an education degree that's why I'm homeschooling, but I was trained in high school. So elementary has definitely been Jamie learning how to do this alongside your kids. Now the third one, a lot of people would say, you know, even if you have the information, and even if you can figure out how to teach your kids junior high, high school, elementary, or whatever, the third hurdle might be, gosh, I keep on losing my train of thought. That's the word for it. Oh my goodness. The third one would be, oh my gosh, I already forgot it. I'm so tired. Oh yes, about how to teach them. So like teaching methods. So this was like a class that I took in college, like actual methods of teaching. And so a lot of people would say, like, okay, you may have the information, but you don't know how. Thanks for laughing. I'm like delirious. You don't know how to teach. You don't know the methods. You don't know classical. You don't know modern. You don't know rote memorization. You don't know how to make things fun, blah, blah, blah. But you guys, when it comes to homeschool, the most important thing is that you're doing it the way that your kids learn it. And that really is the beauty in homeschool, is that you know your kids better than anybody. So even if there is a trained teacher who knows all the methods, you know, she has 20 kids in her classroom and she kind of just has to go with one one method and hope that everybody kind of can fit into that mold, but you don't have to know all the methods because you know your kids, and so you know the ways that they learn. I have two completely different learners, two completely different students. One very studious who would do school all day for me, and one who it's like pulling teeth and wants it is done as quickly as possible, which is a little bit of a struggle sometimes, I'm not gonna lie. So I have to do my methods. I have to do the Miles method and I have to do the Graham method. And so don't let that hold you back that you haven't learned teaching methods. You know your kids the best. So number one, you have the information because you've learned it yourself. Going through high school wasn't really that hard. There's a lot of resources out there. Number two is you don't have to have a specialty in a certain grade because I don't. And three, you don't have to know the methods because the best method is knowing your kids. Me too, chalk and cheese. And what I do want to add just as like the final bonus is that at least with our program, the really cool thing is that we're teaching our kids how to learn. So we're not just teaching them information, but we are teaching them how to learn. And so what we're doing is modeling that for them. If there's something that I don't know or I don't get or I don't understand, instead of saying, you know what, boys, we need to find an expert in that area and I will have them teach you that. Instead, within our program, what we are encouraged to do is to learn it alongside our kids and to show them that we can learn anything, but we're teaching them the tools to learn. And that will take you so far in today's world. A thing that we talk about a lot is just how today in society, it's not you find your career with AT&T telephones and you stay there your whole life and you just learn that and you're good to go. Like today's workforce is very fluid, and so people are moving around a lot. You just don't stay somewhere and vest in the retirement and come out the same place you started 30, 40 years earlier. So by teaching our kids how to learn, and I'm doing this with blogging, like I'm always learning how to do things online, and so I'm always listening to podcasts and just always learning. And so I'm just modeling for my kids that I want to learn and pick up new skills. And so any of the holes that we have in our homeschool, I just get resourceful and I bring them alongside and say, we need to figure this out. Let's figure out how to learn this together. And so that's really encouraging, I think, for moms who kind of get hung up on, I don't know everything, I don't know how to do everything. If you're modeling to your kids how to learn how to do things, you are doing a huge service for them. It's a lot more than just memorizing and knowing information, but how to get it and what to do with it. Amy says, I have 2 degrees in education and I don't really think they're that helpful. Knowing your own kids is key. Amy, I totally know that you are tracking with me on a lot of this, so I appreciate you being here. But with all of that said, I have a huge community of homeschool friends. So I directed this national program. I was on a Facebook group with a lot of directors nationally. We've grown our group here in Springfield pretty large, so I know a lot of local moms here. And my forte is being organized. If you haven't already figured that out. Curriculum's not totally my forte. Teaching all day long is not really my forte. But I get a lot of things done with blogging and homemaking and all of the different things that I do because I'm organized and I have good systems. And so I get asked about this a lot. This is what made me a good director. There are a lot of things that I wasn't the best at, but developing systems in the program and getting the program really organized, a lot of people just were really drawn to that. And that helped it grow. So anyway, that's what I get asked a lot about. A lot of my friends locally and the friends that I've met online homeschooling ask me a lot about organizing homeschool. So I decided, with school starting here in our house this week, I get literally text messages from individuals all the time. How do you organize this? What do you use that shelf for? What are you doing for your math? What are you doing for your English? How are you doing this? So I just decided, since I'm getting so good at doing Facebook groups, I've learned a a lot with starting this one. That I just started another group on Facebook. It's called Simple Organized Homeschool. I might change the name. I don't know. I literally just started it a couple days ago. And it's just where I'm going to plop down inspiration and ideas and things that I'm doing, just because I get asked a lot. I can just take a picture and explain what we're doing for different things in our homeschool. Not that we've got it perfected by any means, but over 9 years, Amy, I know over several years for you, you just kind of fine tune and tweak, and you get rid of the noise and you kind of hone in on what's important. At least that's the way that my brain thinks. And I think that's why a lot of people ask me questions, because they know that I don't get bogged down with a lot of the extras. I just sort of stick to the basics and the simple ways of doing things. And so that's why I wanted to do this group. So it's a free group because it's going to be probably a little bit chaotic. I'm just going to post whenever I have something to share. There's going to be no schedule. There's going to be no itinerary. It's just going to be, hey, I took a picture of photocopies I took today, and I'll tell you how I got a good deal on them, or I just found some awesome deals at Target. So those kind of things. It's going to be very random, and just as I have time to do it. This group is always my top priority. But I wanted to invite you guys who are, the group is not just for people in my program, although there will be a lot of us in there, because that's a lot of the moms I know. But if you are just wanting to peek into what homeschool looks like, even if you're not a homeschooler, I don't really care. There's a couple questions to get into the group, just so I have an idea of what kind of people are asking to get in. But you guys are all welcome to hang out there. And that was also my way of I knew that a lot of you guys with food allergies were intrigued about homeschool and wanted to know what that looks like in our family. And I did not, like I've already said several times, I did not want to use this Milk Allergy Mom platform to be talking about homeschool all the time. I want to honor and respect all of you guys' educational choices. And so this group, I decided to make completely separate, but you guys are all invited to come hang out there if you want to. You'll request in and I'll approve you. Anybody I've recognized the name, is just like, I've already approved several of you guys, so thank you. And I actually have like an email list of homeschoolers, because I like to make little printables. You guys know me and my planner, and I make like little simple sheets for our own homeschool. And I learned real quickly doing the program that people were asking me for them. Like I would just show them on Facebook and say, I made a schedule, and everybody would say, how do I get your schedule? So I figured out how to do printables, and then grew like this email list of like 1,000 people. It was really something, like really organic. So I have not emailed that list yet to let them know about the group. So it might become a hopping place soon, but literally, again, it's going to be like Jamie just does it whenever she has something to share. I'll answer your questions there though. If you have homeschool questions and you want to ask them, you guys, you're my top priority. So you can PM me your questions or whatever. But if you want to use the group to chat, feel free. Again, I just don't know how often I'll be there, so the PM thing might be better. But that's what I just wanted to let you guys know, what homeschool looks like here for us, how it was not our plan A, how it's good to kind of have some different plans in the back of your mind as you're going through with this food allergy thing. So you're not making big decisions in August of kindergarten. And I know a lot of you guys think ahead too, but you can never really plan too far ahead, but it's always good to have some ideas. And I just want to be here putting some realistic info on what the homeschool option and idea looks like. So I hope that that's helpful for you guys. I really appreciated having friends in the trenches ahead of me as I was going through the toddler and preschool years, to kind of just see what that was going to look like if we went that route. So that's what I want to be for you guys. So yeah, I'm sort of just rambling. I'll leave the link to the group. I've only put up a couple posts, and again, you guys are the top priority group of all. We have our schedule and we have our plans here, but the other one is just random whenever I have something to share. So I hope that this was helpful. I hope that some of you are encouraged. I hope those of you who are already on your tracks for education in public school and private school just enjoyed hearing the story. I appreciate having all of the different variety of moms here at Milk Allergy Mom, because here it really is our our common thread and theme is food allergy, and I have learned a lot about embracing a lot of our differences and just coming together in that common denominator. So this will probably be one of the last things that you hear about homeschool, the first and last here at Milk Allergy Mom. But come hang out in the group if you're intrigued and want to know more. You don't have to be homeschooling. You can be in public school. There's no strict requirements there in the group. So we would love to have any of you guys that are interested. I actually have here at the Milk Allergy Mom private group, there's like a little thing where I can recommend groups at the top, and I want to start recommending some of your guys' groups if you're like doing some kind of business, side business or something. But I've got a couple of my groups up there too. So I got a planner group and a homeschool group and a food allergy group. So anyway, but we're learning a lot in blogging. That's kind of good to separate the communities and not just say, it's the Jamie Kaufman group, and you're going to hear about homeschooling, and you're going to hear about planners, and you're going to hear about eCloth. Like, it's sort of online is becoming like, you should probably niche down the different things so that people just hear what they want to hear. So I'm kind of going that route, and I hope that it's helpful and encouraging to you guys. All right, I'm going to head out. Dinner is on the stove. We have a busy night. If you have any questions about homeschooling, go ahead and leave them here. I will leave the link for you to the new group that I've started if you want to hang out there. And we will be back with more of the emergency preparedness stuff for the rest of the month. I promise that I am working on that feverishly. We had to kick off our homeschool here today, and so I'm trying to balance a lot of things right now. But the emergency preparedness, we will see to finality here by the end of the month with a few other features on that. So stay tuned for that because we are not done with it yet. You guys have a great evening, and I will chat with you and to you later. You guys have a great one. Bye. Bye, Anna Marie. Do I call you Anna Marie or just Anna? Let me know in the comments because I want to say it right when you're on. Have a good night, guys. Bye.